Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And we have an interesting update. Very, very, very interesting update. Rod Rosenstein is no longer testifying. So he is no longer testifying, and it is going to be postponed. So let's read the Hill. House Republicans postpone Rosenstein interview. House Republicans are postponing a closed-door interview with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein planned for Wednesday. This is unfortunate because we really need to find out what went on with Rosenstein and whether or not he was joking about Trump being taped recording Trump, whether or not he was just joking, just having a laugh about the 25th Amendment and possibly just trying to remove a president that was elected fair and square by stating that he's, mentally challenged. There's a lot going on with Rod Rosenstein. He's not going to be around long. Trump is going to let him go, or he'll unilaterally, just miraculously, coincidentally resign. But let's go ahead. Let's read this. Let's read this right here. Representatives Bob Goodlatte and Trey Gowdy, the chairman of the House Judiciary and Oversight and Government Reform Committees, respectively, announced Tuesday evening, that they would push back the interview because they are, quote, unable to ask all the questions of Rosenstein in the allotted time. The committees are unable to ask all questions of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein within the time allotted for tomorrow's transcribed interview. Therefore, the interview will be postponed. Mr. Rosenstein has indicated his willingness to testify before the Judiciary and Oversight Committees in the coming weeks in either a transcribed interview or a public setting. We appreciate his willingness to appear and will announce further details once it has been rescheduled. The interview, which was supposed to be under oath, was expected to focus largely on the New York Times article published last month that said Rosenstein proposed secretly taping conversations with the president and recruiting cabinet members to invoke the 25th Amendment and expel him from office after he fired FBI Director James Comey. Republicans on Capitol Hill have been eager to interview the number 2 official at the Justice Department ever since the report. The interview would have been Rosenstein's first appearance on Capitol Hill since rumors swirled that he would be fired or resign following the Times report. Speculation mounted that Trump could move to fire Rosenstein, but that dissipated when the president said earlier this month that he had no such plans. Goodlatte and Gowdy's announcement comes after members of the ultra-conservative House Freedom Caucus criticized the format of the planned sit-down, which was limited to top Republicans and Democrats on the 2 panels, only 4, which was limited to top Republicans, Democrats. So 2, they only allowed 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, if you could believe that nonsense. So they only allowed 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd. So, ladies and gentlemen, the GOP will keep control of the House and keep control of the Senate. I have a really, really cool, very respectful upload. So check out my upload after this segment. It's a respectful rebuttal to 538. 538 gives Democrats an 85% chance to win the House. There's no way that Democrats are going to win the House. There's no way that Democrats are going to win the House in a great economy with a president that has astronomically high, historically high favorability ratings within the Republican Party, where Republican women and Republican men love Trump, 90% approval rating. There's no way the Democrats are going to win the House after going 2-8. If you're 2-8, your football team isn't really going anywhere. Frank Hugh, thank you. If you're 2-8, you're not going to really go anywhere in terms of football. There's something to be said about, playing any sports, not just any sports, football, baseball, soccer. It gives you, when you lose in sports, because there is no like Russia did it. You can't blame Russia if you drop a touchdown pass or an extra point or you fumble the ball or you strike out. You just can't blame Russia. You don't go to the umpire. You were influenced by Russia. You were influenced by Russia. And there's this poll, by the way, that Democrats or progressives are circulating. Oh my God, they love. Oh my God. Here, majority of Republicans support Medicare for all poll. No, they don't. My God Almighty. No, they don't. Morning Consult poll survey. It doesn't ask for the love of God. It never stops. It never stops. It never, ever stops. Oh, my God. Not taxes. Taxes. Does it talk about taxes? No. Does it talk about taxes? I just want to find, it doesn't ever stop. It just keeps going. Never, ever, 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 ever stops. The gaslighting of progressives. Thank God I'm not a progressive anymore. Thank God I'm not a progressive. If the Morning Consult poll, right here, God, it never ends. Thank you, Denise T. It never ends. It never ends. Do you understand? It never ends. 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 It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It never, ever ends. And I'm trying to tell the progressives who watch my channel, this poll, so in departure from past elections, seniors lean towards Democrats. No. So basically, the Hill, majority of Republicans support Medicare for all. No. No, they don't. This poll does not mention or ask about any tax increase to pay for Medicare for all. Again, it's like there's a joke. It's a joke. Forget it. I'm not going to tell a joke. It's actually a hilarious joke. The punchline is like, I'm talking to a wall. Anyway, it's like talking to a wall. You're supposed to pray at the wall, and it's like, I'm not going to go into it. Sorry, everyone. I saw something on Twitter, and now I have to. Okay, so basically, there was a poll that said the majority of Republicans want Medicare for all. No, they don't. No, they don't. So let's just pivot real quick from Rosenstein, who is going to get fired or resign after midterms, and he sanctioned really an illegal investigation based on a Steele dossier and flawed, and what, Comey getting fired, and Comey should be actually in jail, not just fired. But anyway, so let's just go really, really quickly. Bravo, Victor. It is growing. It's better than before. I had a lot more hair. It was like a hippie before. So there's a poll now that's talking about how Republicans want Medicare for all. I have a Republican audience, and I can tell you they don't. More than half of Republicans in a new American Barometer poll say they support Medicare for all. That's because they were never asked about the tax increase. How difficult is this to understand? How difficult is this to understand? I'm trying to let everybody know when November 6, 2018 comes, and GOP keeps control of the House and keeps control of the Senate, I try my best. I just try to give public service announcements. Nobody cares. But nobody on the left listened to me anyway when I was on the left. They viewed me as like this crazy, insane person. I was like, Hillary's going to lose. You're crazy. Shut up. You must silence this person. 25% said they strongly supported Medicare for all. Well, yeah. Well, who wouldn't want free health care? The poll does not. They called someone in the middle of the day while they were watching Fox or CNN. Hey, you want free healthcare? I guess so. I'll press 2 for that. Okay. They're not talking about, they're like, you're a Republican? I don't, honey, what are we? Yeah, Republican. You want Medicare for all? Want free Medicare? You want free? Yeah, sure. I'll press 2 for free. Okay. And that's it. Thanks for your time. A Morning Consult survey released last week found that 52% of voters whose top issues are Medicare and Social Security said they would vote for a Democrat in the midterms. Whatever. 52% of voters whose top issues are Medicare and Social Security? Yeah. That's because if your top issue is Medicare and Social Security, you probably lean a little bit more towards the Democratic side. Democrats have a problem with the word bias. They don't know what the word bias means. Bias, you're leaning towards a value system. You're leaning towards. There is no like objective, there's no objective look at Trump or Trump voters. Trump voters are just seen as these like, they're not even really, the left doesn't view Trump voters as American or part of the country, really. They just view Trump voters as like this anomaly. Daniel, thank you. They view Trump voters as like this, like an infection you take a cream for. I got a Trump voter on my behind. What's a good cream for that? They don't get it. They don't understand it. It's like they don't get it. There's $7,600 out of pocket for Obamacare or Medicare. Affordable Care Act. Majority of Republicans support Medicare for all, not when they're told that the Mercatus study says over doubling taxes, corporate and personal, wouldn't even be sufficient to pay for it. The survey conducted by Hill TV and Harris X Polling Company found that 52% of Republicans polled said they supported the option. Well, of course, I just did a word search right now. I just did a word search for the word taxes. There is no word. Okay, Medicare, and this is the thing. If you think Medicare for all is a great idea, then roll with the tax increase. Explain what the tax increase will be and roll with it and be proud of it. And that's different. You don't see Nancy Pelosi. First of all, Nancy Pelosi doesn't talk about Medicare for all. She never even really states the words. You heard her talk about Russia. You heard her talk about impeaching, but you don't hear her talking about Medicare for all. That's because it would come with a historic, immense tax increase. They don't talk. And then you hear on the left, oh my God, we're so much more moral than you. Tens of millions of Americans, 40 million of millions of America, 40 million Americans don't have access to health care. No, they don't have the money to pay for the Affordable Care Act. You have to wonder why, if the ACA exists, why aren't these people on the ACA? It's because $7,600 is a lot of money. So out of pocket for the Affordable Care Act is on average over $7,000. JW, the percentage of Elizabeth Warren's. Thank you. ACA out of pocket maximum $7,100 out of pocket maximum. The most you'll have to pay for covered service in a plan year is $14,000 for a family. Okay, then you wonder why it's not working out. Okay, it's not working out because they're not told about they don't have, when they say like, well, oh my God, people don't have access to healthcare. They don't have the money right now to pay for it. They don't have. This is from healthcare.gov. Okay. For the 2018 plan, the out of pocket for marketplace plan is $7,350 for an individual. I mean, this is a lot of money. This is actually, what am I saying? It's more than 7,100. It's $7,350. Am I wrong here? I'm reading it right here. For the 2018 plan year, the out-of-pocket limit for a marketplace is $7,350 and $14,700. It's a lot of money. That's the Affordable Care Act. That's called affordable. It's a lot of money. Okay? That's a lot of money. Healthcare.gov. The Affordable Care Act. Affordable is very affordable. Very affordable. It's out of pocket is $7,350 for an individual, and almost $15,000 for a family. If you don't have 15 grand, if you don't have over seven grand, then you don't have access to healthcare. The Affordable Care Act was supposed to give people access. These are little minor details. 25% say they strongly supported Medicare for all. 22% they somewhat oppose the idea. These are like tests, like when you took a test in high school, and you're like, oh, multiple choice. Oh my God, this is so. My mind is wandering. My mind used to wander. I used to like in class in high school, I would disassemble and reassemble mechanical pencils like 1,000 times, like a crazy person. just, and I would stare at the the clock. I'd be like, it's only been 5 minutes. Feels like since the Stone Age. This is just, it's just, they don't get it. They don't understand that and it's also like, if you bring this up, you are like a really horrible person who should be excommunicated from the human race. You're just a horrible person, and you should never have been born, and you're a problem to humanity. Thank you, Players Social. Thank you. This is the Affordable Care Act. Don't you know? It's the Affordable Care. You got 14 grand? Well, 15 grand if you're a family. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's over $1,000 a month. That's called affordable. I mean, am I out of line here? It's just like, this is so, what they do is the marketing spin, the morality guilt trip. You don't want Medicare for all? It never ends. And this is like, if Democrats really cared about it, it would be a different story. If they cared about it, it would be a different story. Okay? It would be a different story. But like, they don't care about it. They're using it as an issue to drum up some kind of quote unquote enthusiasm. They have nothing. They really have nothing. They don't have a specific policy that Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders are all on board with. Okay? Bernie Sanders is going to be blamed. Bernie Sanders is going to be blamed. And when they lose, they're going to find some kind of scapegoat. They're going to find some kind of scapegoat, and it's going to be Bernie. And I will be right about that too. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus. And then, like, the only knock, I was right about Clinton indictments. She was going to get indicted. Just ask Peter Strzok. I mean, I got like the pulse of what was going on, and now there's hashtag Bernie would have won. Well, I was right. At that moment in time, he would have won. I'm glad that Trump won. But in that moment, if they had galvanized or rallied around Bernie, not cheated him, he would have won Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. They haven't voted for a Republican since the 80s. But again, I'm glad Trump won. I'm very glad Trump won. Because you have peace between North and South Korea. You have a president who's pushing back against the insanity and madness of the left. The left is like completely unhinged in every way, shape, and form. By the way, Ali Beth Stuckey, she is awesome. She has the most amazing 547,000 views in 2 days or 1 day. She has the most amazing satirical skit on Democrats. They're going to lose, ladies and gentlemen. I did a whole segment on 538's analysis. Check that out. That's before this segment. Then you have Andrew Gillum today. Records show FBI agent gave Andrew Gillum tickets to Hamilton. The records released by former lobbyist Adam Corey today appear to refute what his campaign has said about the trip. Undercover FBI agents paid for Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum's hotel room and his ticket. This is not Hillary Clinton level insanity, but it's just kind of amusing. To the Broadway musical play Hamilton, during a 2016 trip to New York, according to a report, a trove of records that raises new questions 2 weeks before the November 6th election. Among the records released Tuesday, photos, a video, and dozens of text messages between Gillum, who is a former lobbyist Adam Corey, and an undercover FBI agent. They appear to contradict Gillum's explanation for the expenses. Well, was he under oath? Probably not. Which have been made a major issue by his Republican rival DeSantis. Even before this, I stated DeSantis was going to win because you cannot have a Republican, you cannot have a Bernie Sanders candidate with fundraising from Hillary Clinton. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. The Hodge twins are awesome. They're really funny. They're hilarious. They have on Twitter, they always have like the best performances, like mini performances. So anyway, it's like, let me keep reading this. All right, so Gillum's campaign has maintained and continued to do so Tuesday that Gillum's brother handed him the ticket the night of the show. But text messages at the time of the trip show Gillum was sold a ticket came from Mike Miller, an FBI agent looking into city corruption who was posing as a developer. Mike Miller and the crew have tickets for us for Hamilton tonight at 8 p.m. Awesome news about Hamilton. Gillum replied. The campaign has not said how Marcus Gillum, who lives in Chicago, came by such a sought-after Broadway ticket, or whether Andrew Gillum asked his brother about it. These messages only confirm what we have said all along, Andrew Gillum. we did go see Hamilton. I did get my ticket to Hamilton from my brother. At the time, we believed they were reserved by friends of Adam's Mike Miller, who is an FBI agent. I don't even know what's going on. Honestly, I don't even look. I'll tell you what I think. I don't think that Andrew Gillum, from what I know about this whole FBI sting operation, I don't think that he did anything like illegal or egregious. I think the people around him did. From my cursory knowledge of what's going on, this is like, because I'm judging this by like Hillary Clinton standards. So this is nothing. This is nothing. Gillum is not going to lose to DeSantis because of the FBI sting in Tallahassee. I don't even really think that Gillum did anything wrong, to tell you the truth. People around him were apparently corrupt. So, because I'm looking at this through the prism of Hillary Clinton insanity. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? No, I don't want to hit word. Why did I do that? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. So this is Tampa Bay Times. Records show FBI agents gave Andrew Gillum tickets to Hamilton in 2016. AG thinks Vegas in August is an easier option for him. He is double-checking availability with his office now. Stand by. Instead of Las Vegas, they met in New York while Gillum was attending a conference on behalf of the People for the American Way Foundation, a liberal advocacy group that employed him. Text messages show Miller paid for the airfare and hotel room for Gillum's brother. Send me the mayor and his brother's information. I will have my girl book their flights. Oh, that's sexist. He said, my girl. Corey replied that Gillum had already booked his flights, but he would send his brother's information ASAP. Just tell them to let me know what their flights cost, and I will cover it. The ethics complaint was filed against Gillum in June this year, and Gillum met with investigators in early September. So, I mean, honestly, this is not, I don't really see this, to tell you the truth, as like, the most horrible thing in the world. Like I said, Gillum is not going to lose because of the FBI probe. He's going to lose because he's being because Hillary Clinton is fundraising. Let's see. We did not keep track of the number of subpoenas issued by the commission. However, the subpoenas are not uncommon. By law, ethics complaints are confidential until they are dismissed. So Gillum is not going to win Florida. Cruz is not going to win Texas. And let me just tell you something. Andrew Gillum is a better candidate than Beto, Drunko, Baracho, O'Rourke. Andrew Gillum's going to lose, and he's actually a better candidate than Beto O'Rourke, who will lose miserably. And for the record, Latino, 1/1 billionth. Because if you're Robert Francis, if your name is Beto, you're now 1/1 billionth Latino. It's all now down to 700 years ago. The identity politics knows there's no end to it. That's why I started like a couple weeks, like last week, I was like, you will address me as H.A. Goodmanius. I'm related to Julius Caesar. Who there? You laughing? You mock me. You mock Caesar. You mock Goodmanius. Take him. Take her. I'm 1/100 millionth emperor of Rome. Oh, Lord, here we go. Must hate Trump. Let's see. What else is going on here? So it's postponed, everybody. That would be a huge upset. I hope Antonio Sabato Jr. wins. I remember him in the 90s, like girls I would date, and they'd be like, oh my God, he's so fine. He's so hot. Antonio Sabato Jr. is so hot. I'd be like, I hate Antonio Sabato Jr. All the girls I'm dating think he's hot. But he actually is pretty awesome. I hope he wins. California District 26. Vote for Antonio Sabato Jr. So let's see. What are the polls? Antonio Sabato Jr. polls. Okay. Why can't I find this? Oh, yeah. I have to go to a 538 poll. This is horrible. Okay. California 26, solid D. Is it? Oh my God. I'm not even going to say. So wait, I can't even read this thing. There's a 67% chance Okay, that Julia Brownlee wins, and a 32% chance that I hope he wins. I really hope Antonio Sabato Jr. wins. If you're in California's 26th, vote for Antonio Sabato Jr. I really hope he wins. I just hope that Big John Cox, the surging one, wins. Can you imagine Gavin Newsom's like, huh? Gavin is forward thinking, forward thinking. John O. HA back at it again. Thank you, John O. Thank you. Thank you, John O. Thank you. John O. Everyone here, be here November 6th, 2018. We're going to party. It's going to be so amazing. And then you're going to get the sober the analysis from you're going to get the analysis from all the pundits who were wrong, like, well, it was the Russians again. It was really the Russians again. And it was gerrymandering, and it was suppression, and it was all these things. Um, I mean, I tell you something. I think that you're looking at, I mean, just in terms of early voting, it looks like a red wave is forming. And I don't really care if it's a red wave or whatever. I just care that Republicans keep the House, which they will. Let's look at this. So let's look at the early voting again. Early voting Republicans. Republicans outpacing Democrats in early voting in key states. How is that a blue? So please answer this question. You have the Senate that everyone says is going to be at least 4, I say 6 to 8, but whatever. I've been saying they're going to keep the Senate, and not only going to keep the Senate, we're going to gain the Senate. So how do you have the Senate with Democrats up and you have Republicans outpacing Democrats in early voting in key states? So when does the blue wave show up? And then they're 2 and 8 in special elections. So like when does that happen? Republicans lead in early ballot returns in Colorado. So far, 57,000 Republicans have voted versus 55,450 Democrats. So, like, you would think that Republicans would not be like we were told that Republicans don't have. We were told that Republicans don't have uh, the enthusiasm. Sarah Sanders. Then you have the whole like it's never ending. It's never ending. It's never ending. The caravan thing, Kavanaugh thing, the Elizabeth Warren 1024th. It's never ending. Mystic Grove, great job. Thank you, Mystic Grove. Thank you. Thank you, Mystic Grove. Thank you. Thank you so much. People are slowly moving away, and it's just amazing. They're slowly moving away. Judicial Watch got 47 pages. Justice Department, including emails between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, revealing the FBI officials used unsecured devices. Of course they did. John O. I early voted for Ted Cruz. Thank you, John O. Nice. Well, Ted Cruz is going to easily defeat Beto O'Rourke. Easily. It's so easy. This is not only, ladies and gentlemen, it's not only a slam dunk. It's so easy to predict. It's so easy to predict Democrats losing. Oh wow, this is really interesting. 1,191,000. Wow. 646 million. Wow, 2-1. Wow. Like I always say, 2-1. She outraised him 2-1 and still lost. It's really unbelievable too that people still talk about the popular vote as if like that wasn't purchased by she purchased everything. The popular vote, she purchased the Steele dossier, she purchased everything. She purchased not only the popular vote, but she also purchased the insurance policy. $1.2 billion to 646 million. So, I mean, it's like it's 2-1. You're looking at 2-1. He didn't win the money race, but Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. This is a great article. Bloomberg. You lose 2-1. You lose. You basically, and you have media. No, John O, I didn't. Let me look that up. I didn't. Oh wow. I did. Wow. Look at that. That whole thing. You're going to talk. You're going to see the. You're going to see basically liberal media, and I'm sorry if I'm a little bit low key now. I'm just like, Enamon 31458. Thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling a little bit tired, but early Republicans outpacing Democrats in early voting in key states. So I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. I have no idea how they. I don't know how they. I don't know what they're going to say when they ended up losing. They're going to blame gerrymandering, that's for sure. Let's see what else is going on. World Series. Yes. Yes. I better get off this live stream so people can watch the World Series. Hold on. Is it on now? On right now? No. Wednesday, November 1st. What am I saying? What's wrong with me? I want the Dodgers to win, of course, as you might expect. But it's going to be really good. Really, really good. RH, that's a great point. That's a great point because they Democrats beat Republicans in early voting in the 2016 election. So, and that's true. Democrats usually beat Republicans in early voting. So no. I'm sorry. I apologize. The World Series November 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to let's just last couple minutes. I will I'll be back for sure. But let's just look at. I'll have a little bit more pep in my step later this evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. I will be back. God bless all of you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, everyone. And hold on, let me just. I have to find out something. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like looking at so many different things. Okay, so well, it's 2-1 right now. Sorry. I mean, what's wrong with me? It's 2-1 Red Sox Dodgers. So I'm reading New York Times right here. ESPN. What's wrong with me? It's 2-1. Boston leads 2-1. World Series Game 1 going on right now. And I will let you watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you a little later on. Tamara Friedman, my first all-Republican vote. It was early. So excited. Thank you, Tamara. Awesome. Awesome. Me too. I'm going to send in my early voting. Let's just look at the game cast for... So it's the top of the third. LA's down 1 run. Boston is up 2-1. Wow. Wowzers. All right, everyone. Watch the World Series. Tamara Friedman, thank you. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, everyone. I will see you a little later after the World Series. Hopefully the Dodgers pull it out. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you.